something a little bit different today. This is a Gastropod that Matt found, I believe it was on the south coast. It has got parts of the shell missing, but we have got some of it. There's some here that we need to glue back together. That's it there. Oh, there. And I think that goes on the back side. Yeah, here somewhere. So those bits should be from here, I believe, or somewhere around here. Yeah, right, that's from there. That'll attach to that. So the only loss we've got really is a little bit as it comes round to the mouth border here. So first job is we're going to glue these two bits back together. Now then, which way do they go? Like so, I believe. There, like that. So we'll glue that back, then we'll trim that out so that can be reattached on the back, and then we'll pen some of this matrix off, and we'll clean parts of the, well, most of the body parts of this with the air abrasive. We'll leave that bit for now. I'm not even sure that is part of this. It could be part of a shell, but we'll leave that for now. We'll let that glue go off, and then we'll cut this section out and reattach it to the back here. I've relieved around the edges a little bit with the dental grinder, so we're not getting any binding up when I put this on. It seems to fit fairly well, and it goes there. Oh, goes there like that. Right. Should be there. So that's back on. There's a bit of shell missing here, and there's a fair bit of shell missing there. But what we'll do for now is, I'm not going to pen that because it's not been glued long. I'm going to pen a little bit of this out of the way so we can actually get to the Gastropod a little bit easier. But first I'm just going to glue this edge up here. just using the heavy pen to remove a lot of this outer matrix a bit quicker. It sits quite well like that, so I'll probably remove the great majority of the rock this side around here, because I think it will sit absolutely fine like that. We'll be onto the smaller pen next, and I'm going to remove the matrix around the shell here. I don't go up to the shell with a heavy duty pen, I always stop short. So we'll do that next. I'll remove the greater majority of this matrix on the back with piece we glued back. Then we'll give it a quick aerobraid, I think. Probably do it with dolomite. Just have a look at the shell, see what we've got, and then we'll finish it off. Taking the matrix off the bit of shell we glued back, there's still a fair sizable repair there and here. I'll probably repair this as well, leaving the mouth border here. This needs to come off, this bulk here, because it's overshadowing the shell. You really need the shell to be the prominent piece, so we'll remove that there. Probably cut it to about here so that it sits nice. Right, as you can see, I've already removed the rock before I put it in here. It's a little bit easier. I'm going to give it a quick going over with a bit of dolomite powder just to see what the shell's like. Well, the shell looks like it will come up okay. I've just given it a quick flash air in there just to see what the surface of the shell is like, and it's looking promising. So I think tomorrow I'll finish getting the rest of the matrix off of this shell, cut the mouth board around here, then start to shape the matrix, It won't take too long, this one. Right, I've had a bit of a conversation with Matt last night about this body chamber that's missing, and we decided to actually, rather than repair it, with it being quite a large area compared to the shell, we decided to remove it along this line here and slightly undercut the shell and tidy up the mouth border. Probably the best option. So what we're going to do this morning is I'm going to remove and undercut the shell round here. Right, I think that does look better. Going to do a little bit more pen work on this matrix. I'm starting to get it to flow in, but I need this edge here, this one here is a little bit high. I need to just drop that edge, pen that edge down a bit. Then I'll grind a little bit of this, see what it's going to look like. Once I've done that, then it will be back to cleaning this shell up, and finally a repair. I've rough ground it now. I've taken the mouth border back a little bit. That's all rough ground round here, and fine penned up to the edge where when we put the final grind in, the really fine one, that'll clean up properly now. I've removed 1 or 2 worm tubes and bits of calcite shell from the outside of the actual gastropod with my fine pen, and I'm going to call it a day. So next session we'll probably do the fine grinding and the air abrading. Then after that we'll do the repair. After another word with Matt and discussing shelf space, I've actually cut this down even further so it takes up less room on his shelves. At the moment I've just undercut this edge of the shell and I'm putting a final grind on the matrix. Once I've done that, it'll be going back in the blast chamber for the shell to be fully cleaned properly, and then we can do the repair and that will be it. She's just come out the blast chamber. I've given her a flash over with some dolomite powder, and I've just applied some magic juice to it, and it's not too bad actually. Just wanted to see whether it looked better with a coating or without. I think it definitely looks better with a coating. We'll do these repairs tomorrow and then it's more or less finished. Today I'm going to try and get these repairs done. Going to use some 2-part putty, equal amounts. It's not the best to use for this because if you look at the calcite, it is quite translucent and putty isn't. So we're going to have to do what we can with it. It's too intricate to actually do a resin repair. So we'll use the putty. We'll cut 2 equal parts. I'll mix it up, then we'll come back. Cold in here today, a bit sniffly. what I'm doing here is just removing any raised bits on the resin. When you carve the grooves in, if the putty's malleable, as you press, you form ridges at the side. And this is what you need to get off before you smooth it. Just putting one or two small grooves in there, just very faintly. All I'm trying to do is simulate this ridging. Applying a little bit of base colour. The easiest colour to match is this darker colour here, because this is a translucent calcite, so this darker colour is more of a solid colour, so we will try and imitate that, I think. Let that dry and we'll put a darker colour over the top. Just putting the final touches on the repairs. Where was I? Lost it. Okay, so that's about as good as I can get it. So we've got the repair here and the repair there. Well, that's not too bad. Right, a bit of the magic juice. Well, I think we'll call that done. I reckon that's turned out quite well considering the state it was in when I got it. I might just whip a quick final grind over this matrix. It's got a bit mucky when I've been handling it and dealing with the acrylics. I think the next video I need to finish is the Nautilus from Burton Bradstock that Matt gave me, so that will be the next one. We'll try and get that out in the next month.